Happy Canada Day. Last week was pretty much quiet. It started up again here about 2 days ago. All day yesterday we've been working with these guys, giving them colostrum. I had to set up their own little pen because the bottle babies are so established. There's no way these guys can compete with them. So I did try to foster these guys on a ewe that just gave birth. I'm going to show you her in a minute, but she was only with her lambs for not very long and she knew these weren't hers, so she was not accepting them. So that was a disappointment. So this one's new this morning. This is one that just had, she had one, I believe, that was stuck. So it was dead. And the one behind it is not doing well. So I'm gonna have to tube it this morning and see if I can save it, but I am not liking the looks of it. And then these guys were all yesterday. Gotcha. How are your babies doing? They look good. I am going to try to tube that lamb, see if I can save it. I'm going to strip out the mom, actually. I'm going to take the milk right out of her because she's got a ton of milk. I don't know about that. We're going to try. You're so cute too. No. You're a good mom. You're so quiet. Okay. Lady. Okay. How you doing? Oh, you're just not a lot of life in you, eh? Hey? Okay, Mom. There. Good morning, it's Tuesday. Or Moose Day, we call it here, because it's not really Tuesday, it's Monday and Tuesday blended together. Yesterday was a holiday Monday, so we need to get all Monday's jobs done on Tuesday. How are you guys doing? How you doing? You got this thing figured out? Hmm? Oh, you're so nice. Hi, sweet pea. So that ewe that had the twins yesterday, and the first one was dead. The second one I tube fed. I came in last night, late last night, and it didn't make it. So Carissa pulled it out just so I can record it. just finished up putting CIDRs in this next group of ewes that I want to breed in about 12 days. This group was a really big group. It was the group that we weaned from that lambed in March. I'm a little concerned that my conception is not going to be great because it's July, they're completely out of season. It's a big group and it's going to be warm. I put the CIDRs in this group. CIDRs are just a form of, it's kind of like a birth control. It'll stop their cycle wherever they're in that cycle, and then in 12 days when I pull it, they all come into heat at the same time. And I do that so they will lamb at the same time. Last year my July group was not great, and this is too big of a group to have a terrible conception on. So I'm just trying a few things to make it work. This whole group, I'm actually not keeping any, I'm not planning to keep any for replacements. So these are all going to be bred Ile-de-France Suffolk, and all this group is going to be bred Rideau. So that is kind of how I have these sorted, and I'm going to sort the pen behind them. They will all get sorted the same way. So about half of them will be Ile-de-France Suffolk, and the other half will be Rideau. That's the plan. It's Tuesday night, and I have a special delivery. My ewe that I named Goat, because she acts like a goat, had her baby. I have been waiting all week for this because she's been acting like she was going into labor, but she's kept me in suspense. And there she is. So I'm gonna check her colostrum. You good, Mom? Goat was a bottle baby from last year, and if you remember, I did a kind of a parody goat yoga video. I did it with the lambs, and she was the lamb that kept jumping on me and jumping on my belly and chewing my hair. That was her. So we've been very close friends since that video. We kind of bonded. And she's a lovely ewe.
Check him out, honey bunny. Hello, little yummy. Good girl.
You have a lot of milk. You should have had 3 babies. 30. Good girl. Hi, have you drank? Good morning. Last night after Goat lambed, there were 3 more lambing. This one needed some assistance. They're doing well. That was a big pull. Lots of lube required. And then this one and that one, I brought in this area because I wanted to give them a little room to move around. I find they lamb better if they can kind of move. So I put them in that walkway in the middle, and they both had twins, it looks like, and everybody looks happy. Goat and her baby are doing well. And I have another ewe in labor right now. So just watching her, she's really pushing. Yeah, I'm gonna move you. You're struggling. So I didn't have much time. I literally just came in and I just pulled it out because I think she's been trying for a while and she almost had it. I think she just needed that last little oomph out. So you can tell it's been struggling for a while because it gets this real yellow staining. And what that is, I think it's called meconium staining. It's when the ewe's really straining and they have their first like little poop inside their water sac. And of course that will stain the lamb, but she will lick that off and it will dry up and be white again. Nice little morning arrival. Okay, Mom. Come on. That's it. I'm gonna see if I can move that ewe. She's a bit weak on her legs yet. mom. Good mom. Oopsie. Honey? You try and get up again? You're a big you. You're a little heavy for me. Come on. You got it. That's a girl. That's a girl. You can probably just hold it. And then just give her a little, It's Thursday and no new babies. Today is actually day 17, so the beginning of the second cycle, heat cycle, of when I bred them 5 months ago. I think most of them are done. There's only a handful left. Looking at these other ones, I'm not entirely sure how many are left because a few of them don't really look bagged up. But this morning I want to take some time and process all these ewes and their lambs and let them out. Typically when there's a big separation in age, like these first ones are already 3 weeks old, I like to actually put the new ones in their own pen just due to any risk of coccidiosis in these lambs, because what's happening is the older ones can shed and then the little ones can pick it up. So I might start a new pen, keep them separated from the older ones. So this ewe here had a backwards lamb that died. It came out and its heart was beating, but I couldn't get a breath into it. So it was really discouraging. And good mom, so I pulled off the triplet that we had yesterday and put her with this one. What I did was I took all the mums after birth, the cleanings, and because she just lambed, she was still laying down licking her own lamb. I took her own lamb and I rubbed it all over this one, the triplet. And then she also had a big water sac from where the lamb was coming out of her. So I broke it and put all that fluid on her. So lots and lots of fluid on that lamb to make it really moist for her to lick off and to catch the scent. And because her hormones are still crazy, I pulled her lamb right away because it was dead and put this one in, and she's been really good. So that might be my first successful foster this go around. What I also did, this was a trick from my friend Sophie in New Zealand. She told me if I have a problem with the lamb not kind of standing still for the ewe to lick it off and get kind of bonded with, because they've already have an attachment to their own mum, is to tie their legs together for a little bit just so mum can lick them off without them running away. So I did that, and in the meantime it fell asleep. So hopefully when it gets up, everything will be good and I'll get a nice drink. I'm just waiting on this next ewe to lamb. She just started, her water just broke. That was close. Come on. Hey. Oh. Good Saturday morning. I think we actually are done. There might be one more ewe. It looks like it's bagging up, but I'm not sure if it's bagging up or drying up. These are the last of the lambs, I think, that are going to be born. They have been in here for about 36 hours, so they need to go. This lady, I pulled this ginormous lamb out of her, and they are good. And then these guys came last night. I'm going to process these guys now, and then I'm going to go to the office and see what my final tally is for this group. So I'm in the office. I quickly ran some reports just to figure out where I'm sitting on this lambing group. The number of ewes that have actually lambed is 107. So there's 3 left in there, whether they're open, whether they reabsorbed their pregnancies, whether they had some miscarriages and I didn't see it, because that can definitely happen. So 107 lambs born were 199. I almost had 200. So that's about 1.86%. Now half this group were first-time ewe lambs, and my mortality was a lot better this go around. Again, we're still dealing with some stillborn issues, but I was down to 7% stillborns, which compared to that winter group was much better. A lot of people ask me why so many stillborns, and I think in that winter group I had a lot of multiples. I had a ton of triplets, quads, and even a few quints. I might be wrong in this, but I know even with dogs, when they have big litters, they tend to have a few more that just didn't make it. So I had 14 out of this group that were stillborn. 4 of them were stuck. I was a little bit concerned. I think I talked about this in one of the videos. I was a little bit concerned that feeding these ewes as much as I was afraid that those lambs were gonna get too big, and I've had a few pulls in the last couple days. That is a concern if you start your late gestation program a little bit early, thinking, you know, you got to catch those early lambers. The problem is the ones that are late lambing, the lambs get so big, and they're the ones that seem to cause me problems. So that number could have been better if my lambing group wasn't so spread out, which it shouldn't have been if they did everything according to what I thought I'd planned. 4 were weak. At the beginning of this lambing group, if you remember way back, almost a month ago now, I was dealing with some pregnancy toxemia. I had to induce some ewes early, and when you do that, the lambs aren't quite 100% full term. So some of those 4 weak lambs were likely due to that. The number of lambs that we had in this group, I had 4 ewes that had quads, I had 1 ewe that had quints, I had 37 ewes that had singles, I had 11 ewes that had triplets, and I had 54 ewes that had twins. I think it was a good group. I don't have that many bottle babies, not as many as the last one. And I did leave quite a few triplets with their mom this time. I was able to foster, I think, one this group, not very many. So we will see how those triplets do as compared to some that I pulled off and put on the machine, and see if we can see any differences. I thought it was a pretty good group.